Hey, my name's Kayla, and I just opened up this small bookshop on a really small budget. I've done a few shorts, but I kind of wanted to do a quick video introducing myself and telling you how I started and how I got here. I first started, these are the ways that I have done this frugally. My first start was from my living room, selling Blind Date with the Books on Etsy. I didn't even have the book yet. I had wrapped up a book that I had in my house that was not sellable. It was not pretty or popular, but I wrapped it up. I took photos, I posted them on Etsy, and I did this right before Christmas a couple years ago, 2.5 years ago. And I got orders. I actually ended up getting a lot of orders. I had no idea what I was doing, but I got the orders and I knew the money was coming in. So I ran to Walmart and I bought the books as the orders came in. I ran to Walmart about 10 times a day. It was crazy. I don't know. I just hit the algorithm right and things started rolling. It took me quite a while to figure out my systems and get that all dialed in. I probably wasn't profiting the first month or so because I wasn't buying in bulk, I wasn't buying wholesale. I didn't have anything figured out, but it happened and it got my Etsy shop reviews and it got sales on there. So that's still going. I'm still doing the Blind Date with the Books on Etsy. But then the next summer, I thought it would be interesting to take this into my community. So I set up a booth at a vendor fair, a market that we have here in town that actually is the market that is right in front of my bookshop now. And I sold just blind dates with a book. It's a handmade market, so they did accept my blind date with the books as a handmade product. And I sold 13 that day, and I had only brought 15 or 20. So I realized that there was a market for it in my town. We don't really have any, we have one independent bookshop that has been here forever. They're great, but they don't really do a lot of extra. They're just kind of bookshop. They don't do blind date with the books. So I continued my Etsy stuff. I started accumulating books, and I did blind date with a book gift boxes. I added a few different bookish things, blind date with a book things. I kept growing my inventory, and then next summer I set up at another market with as a pop-up bookshop. I guess I had my blind date with the books, but I also just brought a lot of books um, to sell. I brought I I I bought some fold-up shelving on Amazon. I was trying to remember where I started, and then just had my blind dates with a book on a 6-foot table, and I had a canopy that I got off Facebook Marketplace for $40. And so that setup probably, I mean, it cost me under $100. I also put a post out on Facebook asking for book donations, and book donations came in. So I got some good books. I got a lot of bad books, but I was able to get some free inventory from that. A lot of thrifting. I did a lot of Facebook Marketplaces where I buy a lot of my good books. I offer to buy people's lots out outright instead of some people say I'll $5 per book, but they have 100 books for sale. I'll say I'll buy them all for $2 or $3 a book, and some people are just happy to get rid of the books in one swing. So that's how I get a lot of my books. And now that I've opened this shop, a lot of donations have come in. I've made a video and I'll make more. I've gotten some incredible donations. So yeah, my biggest tip is to start as a pop-up. There are so many benefits to that. You get to gauge your customer interest, the interest in your community. You get to slowly build up your inventory without feeling like you need to panic buy a ton of books to fill a bookstore. You gain a community. I got to know so many people. I started a silent book club in my town to start building this bookish community, to have people that will come in here to see if there were people that wanted a bookstore in town. Um, I was able to keep my eyes out for the perfect spot instead of just jumping to the first spot that I could find that could have been a little overpriced, or there were some that I considered that were a decent price, but looking back, I'm so glad I didn't jump on those opportunities because I feel like I ended up in the perfect spot. This is exactly what um, I had pictured, and I'm so glad I waited and didn't feel like I needed to jump on something. And I was able to do that because I still had the pop up. I was still able to sell books. I was still knew that I was building towards getting this bookshop. Had some income coming in from that. And then this place popped up. And another tip I have is to hurry up, hurry up and open. I knew I wanted a bookshop, so I had actually bought these bookshelves. I saw them as things were coming up on Facebook Marketplace. I was just buying them. I knew I wanted to have a bookshop someday. And when I saw things coming up at decent prices, I went through some of these um, fixtures and shelving and stuff. I made a short about that, so I won't talk too much about it. But I slowly purchased everything that I need to put this place together, and then I got it. It's an amazing price. It's a small shop, which is exactly what I wanted. I didn't want to have to fill 1,000 square foot shop. I wanted a cozy little spot that people could just feel comfortable in. And but it's still like the way it's set up right now. I've got plenty of room to do events. I've got an awesome table that I'll clear off when events happen. But yes, this is the spot that I wanted. It's really affordable. There is a spot downtown, but it's like I'm just a block away from downtown. And like I said, I've got a market that runs 7 months out of the year, right, right out my door. Um, and the places downtown are at least 3 to 4 times more than this spot is. So I got lucky to find an awesome place, and the landlord let me in a couple weeks early and did not charge me for rent. So I had almost 2 weeks to set up this spot, and then when I had to start paying rent, I was able to open my doors at that time so I can start getting some profits coming in. And I opened my doors yesterday, and it was crazy. It was amazing. It was soft opening, so not a grand opening, but the community has been incredibly supportive, and they were so happy to have a secondhand bookstore in town. Yeah, I'm hoping they're going to continue this. I am just doing Saturdays mostly because my kids are still on summer vacation until September. They're going to be back in school like around September 1st, but then they have a weekend off. So I'm opening up fully when they are fully back in school the second week of September. Um, so I hope that some of these tips that I am sharing will help you open up a small use bookstore on a budget too. If you want to continue watching my journey and see if it's actually successful, if it can actually sustain it, then please follow along. I would love to have you.